That cuppa. I'm loving it. This is a new brand. It was in the half price section because the expiration date is coming up. So I said, oh, I'm going to try it. It's an organic blend of breakfast beans and French roast. What's not to love? I love my cuppa in the morning. Do you have your cuppa while you're watching me? Anyway, this video today, oh, my name is Sarah, and this is Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto. Almost forgot. Well, we have to be careful of carb the creep, also known as carb creep. And sometimes we just get a little too cocky and selfish with what our portions are. And you know that portion distortion, even if your carbs only come from veggies, sometimes the starchy one. You ever have a starchy veg? I like my starchy veggies. Or even that rare and appropriate fruit that it just seems to just call you. It just calls you. Or maybe some of you are having some of those low carb, no carb breads, tortillas, wraps, flats, all the different things. You have to be careful of what the portion is, even though it's a legit thing to have on your keto food plan, and it works. And you can have it and not have the gain or still continue to lose. Maintenance is nice, staying like this. Losing is nice, but you don't want the carb creep. And it can happen if you're not present when you are getting your foods ready for your meal. And you all know how that goes, right? It's like you feel a little rushed, and it's like, I don't want to weigh and measure. I know if it fits in this bowl, it's okay. Well, it can get you into trouble. And it's probably gotten me into trouble too, but yeah, I just don't want to see you get into trouble with what you're having. When I have my bola, which I'm having today, I'm having my salad with my coleslaw instead of lettuce, because lettuce doesn't like my tummy and reacts. So I have coleslaw as like the lettuce, and then I put some chopped like cucumber, mini peppers. Mini peppers are my favorite. If I die, I want a mini pepper put into my casket, except I'm being cremated, so I guess it will be hot peppers. But anyway, I digress. You want to have, so I have that over there, but when I have my bola, it's in the Fiesta ware. It's probably a serving bowl for veggies. And I'll have my protein, which today is pork. They had pork butt on sale at the store all last week. And so I know that I had special orders on my Instacart where they wanted, one was 3.5 pounds, one was 2.5 pounds. And I know that they took the great big pork shoulder off the, off the shelf or out of the cooler, and then chopped it up to give me the portion that my customer was requesting. And so I'm sure they had a lot left over at the end of a busy week. And a guy just said, why don't I chop this up? Some people make a pork stew or use pork for hunks for chili, who knows? But there was a 1.5 pound package, half price, fresh cut. I mean, it looked just like, a fresh cut, center cut pork chop, except it was like beef for stew, right? So I got it, and I kind of browned it up, added some cauli crumbles, and that's in my bola. So that's in my bola along with cauliflower florets and Brussels sprouts, asparagus, organic, that I got at Whole Foods yesterday. 1 ounce of carrots, 1 ounce of yellow wax beans, 1 ounce of green beans, the Brussels sprouts, the cauliflower. I guess that's it. And I will have that with the pork, and I will add 1 tablespoon of ghee. Yes, there is a heaven, and it's in that bowl, just in case you were wondering. I just have to have another little sip. But I left it on the scale, the kitchen scale, and I added the ounce, and I added the ounce, and I added the 2 ounces, and I added the 60 grams of the mini peppers to what's going to be the cold salad, the veggie salad. And, I still do that to this day. Sometimes things get messy, as you know, and as I know. So you have to be careful. I'm in maintenance, so being messy with an ounce of meat here or there, like sometimes it doesn't get measured, or when Greg does the big green egg and we have the ribeye steak on that Sunday, I don't measure what I'm eating for the steak. I just eat until food full. I kind of practice my intuitive eating, and I have it with the veggies, and so sometimes that isn't measured. My Sunday meal isn't measured because it's too busy. Greg might be smoking something else on the grill for later that week, like we had spare ribs, and so I had to, wrap those, put those away. Just all the veggies from the cast iron pots that we use for the Brussels sprouts and the collie. I'm busy putting it on his plate, putting it on my plate, putting it on what I'm storing for the rest of the week. So it gets busy, and so I don't measure on Sunday the things. But like when I'm having my bola, like I am today, I do measure out because carb creep matters. And so even if it's veggies, I like to be very careful. Like if I'm having a Yukon potato or a sweet potato with my meal, or even the squash, I like my squashes and put the meat inside of that. I do like to know what my carb count is from those kind of starchy to all the way starchy vegetables. It just makes sense. And then if you're having a treat, well, you really have to be careful of carb the creep. It's like Smokey the Bear, where then they began to tell us there was no the in the bear and it's just Smokey Bear. So that's why this is just carb creep, because they took out the, you know, they, Carb ended up being a victim. He did. And so he was able to drop the. So now it's just cab creep. Be careful of that, because you don't, you still want to do well with your keto food plan, and it's just a good habit to have. That little kitchen scale, I use it, like I said, all the time. It's just a part of me. Now, the bathroom scale, that can be used once a month. There's no sense in hopping on or off and trying to game your poundage, what you weigh system. One day you can have a lot of water retention because you had things, like when I have the cauliflower red crust pizza, there must be salt in it or different, I don't know. But sometimes I retain water, and it's like, well, it is what it is, right? And so I'm not going to weigh myself and set myself up to have a disappointing day because, of course, the weight, is written in a magic marker on my forehead, and the whole world will know. No, you don't want to be like that anymore, right? So if you do it in the measuring part before you eat it, then you can be assured. You can say, well, yeah, that's what I had. So if you're still obsessed with your bathroom scale and you get on the scale and it says a 2-pound gain, and it's like, that was veggies, I weighed and measured everything, you can pretty much be assured it's a water weight thing. And who knows what water, if we knew what water weight things were all about, we wouldn't be so obsessed with this whole, all that stuff. If you're weighing and measuring, and then you log it like I do on a chronometer just for hints and giggles, then you know that it's just, don't make yourself crazy, because there's no need to be crazy. So leave the bathroom scale over there, weigh and measure. You know what you're having. You know how your belly feels full. If you're OMAD or 2MAD, you know what time the next day you usually get hungry, and you go from there. I get hungry sometimes at 6 in the morning, but I'm not having my OMAD until 2 in the afternoon. So I've got 8 hours of awake time. I'm busy with my Instacart. I have my coffee. I have my just black coffee, my plain water, sometimes with salt in it. And that's it, right? That's going to hold me until I get to 8. Now I'm out of the house and I'm grocery shopping. So I'm not being, sitting at home being a clock watcher. I don't like that feeling. And when I was home, like after I fell last year, I was a clock watcher because it's like an activity. I'm watching the clock till I can eat. I mean, isn't that the notion of when I was on Weight Watchers, total clock watcher. Every 2 hours, I had a fruit and something else, something carby, like piece of bread with peanut butter on it or something. And I don't like that feeling. So anyway, it's good to be active when I'm counting down my awake hours till my OMAD, which I'm not counting down. I just said that, but I don't mean that. I mean, I'm just, I have a few hours before I eat my OMAD, and it all works. And my body knows that. My body might tell me I'm hungry at 6 in the morning with that stomach empty and gurgle, but it doesn't mean I have to fill it up with food right away. My body can continue to do the clean intermittent fasting that I'm doing with just the plain water and just the black coffee for those hours. So beware of the carb creep, because it can make you crazy if you allow it. If you're weighing and measuring your veggies and just counting the carbs like on the chronometer just to see, like usually I'm under 35 total carbs even with my veggies, even sometimes being starchy, because I only have a little bit. Just that taste, just that normal feeling of like every now and then there is some sort of potato with the pork chop or the steak, because it's fun to feel normal, right? Or look normal or be normal or to have that combo. It's just a nice feeling. And I do it and I enjoy it and I'm not going to stop it. But beware of the carb creep of other sort of things. Just be careful, because you know that you want to maintain where you're at or continue to lose where you're at, but you don't want to gain where you're at, right? So this has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Carb the Creep. Look out for him. I'll see you here the next time. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye for now.